Today is the 15th. I'm going the 18th through the 21st. It should be available, so they tell me. Remember, bowling is a week from Wednesday, 5:30. This time we're downtown. We're at Lucky Stripes. It's at 5:30. What's it?
Stripes.
Stripes. Yes. Gotcha. Lucky Stripes. You can tell I've never been there. 5:30. Only 4 people have signed up on Back Agent so far.
What's the day?
It's a week from Wednesday, the 23rd.
Next
23rd.
week.
We just need
Wednesday.
a week from Wednesday, yes. 23rd. We need people to sign up. We need to get a feel for how much is going. I've already paid $2,000 for the deposit, so I mean, I'm hoping a few people show up over here. So, invite significant others, children, spouses, or whatever. It's a family affair or whatever over there. We're hoping a few people sign up. We're going to put a sign-up sheet on the island here where you can go on Back Agent. So let me know about that. We will be producing the e-bike for the next day is our private screening at 14 pews. This is just for Boulevard Realty clients. Anyone that you would like to invite, you may invite. There's reception with wine and beer.
6:30 to 7.
6:30 to 7 is just kind of go to 14 pews, which is on Aurora at North Main. Take a ride on Aurora. It's in the first or second block there. And then we're having a private screening of a movie, No More Honey. It's about the declining bee population and how important bees are in the
So it's a documentary.
It's basically a documentary. Most of these films.
that?
Pardon me?
Wednesday.
That is on the 24th.
Thursday. The next day.
We're going to produce an invitation today and that you can send out to your clients.
You need to be there.
Be there. It's going to be fun. It's the first of several of these documentaries that we're going to, we're just supporting them. And so we are the corporate sponsor of this movie. I think they're playing it later in the week and later in the month or whatever, and Boulevard Realty is the sponsor of that event. On the 26th, I'm going to be very busy, just in case you wondered. So we have this event going on. It's called the Edible Garden Tour, and it's going on across the city. And one of the houses on there is my house, 205 Balin Avenue. I think this tour is $30, and it gets you in. Individual gardens are $10, or you can tour all 6 houses for $30. So here are these little invitations, and you're welcome to pass these out, and you know about as much as I do what's going on there. That particular day, I happen to be hosting a luncheon for the governor of Maryland at my house from 11:30 to 2. So I'll be a little bit busy during that time with the Secret Service agents over there. And then I'm hosting a gala at the Hilton Americas that evening or whatever for every local.
So when will your reality TV show on Bravo come on?
I don't know yet. We'll see how this goes. They're filming a commercial today at Balin for Reliant Energy. We're filming from 10 to 10.
Don't think you're getting past
You
this
go
one.
over
We
there
gotta
and
go
you see
to New
the
York to
bright
negotiate
lights and
that.
it's
Yeah, right.
It's not Bravo, it's Reliant Energy.
Have the Secret Service
He
agents
says.
call and ask you for your social security number.
They are working on that. So I'm sure that I will check out fine for whatever it is that I'm doing.
Why are you? Yeah, that
This Governor O'Malley is running for president. He is the Barack Obama of 2016.
He's a terrific guy.
He's a very interesting guy. His name is
Martin
O'Malley, who's on Crossfire Wednesday with last Wednesday against Rick Perry or whatever. They're total opposites, in case you wondered. But he's here for an event that I'm hosting or whatever, and so we're having a private tour, a private luncheon with some people. He's a very fascinating guy. He will not take any money. He is flying Southwest Airlines with one person. He would not stay in the suite. We have the whole Hilton Americas booked for Saturday the 26th. He would not take a suite. He only wanted a regular room. Doesn't want a limousine. He doesn't want anything like that. Would take no money. Seems like an interesting guy. I'll know more about him after the 26th, I guess. So that's the 26th. We have the 27th. The 30th. The opening of Kirby. We are going to make it. The sign is up. If you haven't seen it, the brick has been restored. The first rider of a logo went on for me to go review today. They already don't think I don't like it because it's probably too blue, but they've got a backup set.
They're probably right.
These are the logos in the glass. It's designed for the little houses to go on either side of these logos. The AC final will be tomorrow. The electrical final will be Wednesday. The furniture will start popping in there on Friday. And we'll spend the weekend setting up the computers and the TVs. where we'll be good to go the first of the next week. Party is 4 to 7. We're in conjunction with New Living and all of their deal. They'll invite their 3,000 clients on their mailing list or whatever, just for us to get a little interaction with some other people. Sandra will certainly start popping over there and working only. We're going to have it set up where it'll be open 7 days a week. There'll be, well, Sandra will work Tuesday through Saturday over there. We'll have a staff member on Sunday and Monday also. I'm fully committed over there at the moment. So we are in negotiations for purchase of that building. We're in negotiations for purchase of the entire block, the River Oaks Plant Center, the New Living building, all of this deal. And I'm fairly committed to my thrust over there. So I don't know where that's going to pan out, but I at least want to keep someone else from getting it. But the sign is a very good billboard for 75,000 cars that drive down Kirby Avenue.
Especially at night.
At night, it's at
I
night.
put a dimmer on. I thought the lights were a little too bright, so I've added a dimmer today for me to tone down the brightness just a little bit. And then we have November 2nd. We have a huge event at my, let's see, what do I have? November 2nd, we have the gala for the Woodland Heights. This is tied to Lights in the Heights. They're having a gala at my house, which there will be tickets available for anyone to go. I think their tickets are about $75 for that event. It benefits the Woodland Heights Homeowners Association. Election Day is the 5th. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And then I'm having a huge event on November 8th, where 120 people are seated in my backyard for dinner. So a few events going on over there. And then our company Christmas party on the 13th of December. So Eric will make sure all that's filled up on back agent so you at least know what's going on over there. I want to talk a moment about Election Day. Did we pass these things out? Pass out the ballots? I just want us to be educated. Remember, I know I'm very politically involved. I'm not remotely ever telling anyone who to vote for or what to vote for or anything. You're free to do whatever it is you want. I just want you to be educated about what's on the ballot. This election is November 5th. These are state, county, and municipal elections, all under one ballot. Early balloting will begin soon. So the primary thing, there are state amendments. There are 8 of them. There are 9 of them. Most of them have nothing to do with us in Harris County. Remember, every time there needs to be some modification to the Texas Constitution, it requires all 254 counties to vote on the information. So I don't want you to be overwhelmed by those things. Of the 9 things, the only one that's gaining of any real interest is the water bond deal, which is tied to number 6. Okay? So Proposition 1 has to do with surviving spouses and homesteads for veterans. Everyone's for veterans today. Everyone's for the spouse of the surviving veteran. I think it's going to pass just fine. Number 2 is the elimination of a stupid board we haven't had for 25 years. I'm assuming that that one's going to pass just fine. Number 3 is having to do with how long aircrafts can sit in municipal utility districts before they become taxable. I'm assuming that that one's going to pass just fine. Number 4 has to do there again with partially disabled surviving spouses of veterans who receive a house for free, through Jimmy Carter's Habitat for Humanity, or if a group gives a house away to a veteran and their surviving spouse, can the surviving spouse receive homestead? I think everyone's all in favor of that sort of thing. Number 5 with reverse mortgages gets a little confusing. It's the only real estate related thing over here. We have not been a huge fan of reverse mortgages in Texas or whatever, but they are allowable now, but they're trying to make it more and more difficult. There are people, what's basically happening is they're getting an old couple in the nursing home, they'll get a reverse mortgage, they never take possession of the house over here, they pop up all the money, and they're using the proceeds not well intended for the recipient. So now there's this 12-day waiting period that one must occupy the house in a certain period of time or whatever. It's to protect the elderly for scams against reverse mortgages. I think we're all in favor of that sort of thing also. Number 6 is the most important thing. If you don't vote for any of these other things, you have to vote one way or the other, probably on number 6. The attempt is to pull $2 billion from the rainy day fund at the state of Texas and go apply it to bondedness for water projects throughout the state. Everyone knows that the health of the state is tied to increased water throughout the state. Houston's very lucky. We negotiated for Lake Houston and those water rights 75 years ago, and Houston's in better shape than many of the other cities, but the continued success of all of Pearland and Brazoria has to do with whether or not they're going to have any water 50 years from now. So, the water projects, everyone in agreement with. How one pays for it and whether or not you steal from the rainy day fund is just a personal opinion. A lot of people are opposed to it because there's no oversight then when you pull the $2 billion and it's a specially appointed board over here that's not accountable to any elected group. You're given $2 billion of your money, and there could be graft and corruption because there's no accountability for the money once again. So I'm not going to take a position one way or the other. The water project is a good project. It's probably going to pass because the project's going to outweigh the potential downfall of graft and corruption or whatever. It's not the perfect way to do $2 billion fund, but it's the way our current Congress in Austin wants to do it. So it's probably going to pass. It's the only one of these that picks up a lot of traction. Number 7, stupid, everyone's fine with that. Hidalgo County, number 8, it only has to do with Hidalgo County, it doesn't matter. Number 9 has to do with these judges that we have to find a way to get rid of when they do stupid things, when they retire and they get put back on a bench and they do stupid things. We need to be able to remove a retired judge, and this is a way that they can censure or recommend removal or retirement of a particular judge over here. So there's been a lot of crackdown on these judges that have been out of control here. So I think that one will probably pass also. Any question about state constitution provisions? Next, we would have the county. The county has 2 major issues on the ballot that would pick up traction. One is a new detention center. Currently, City of Houston and Harris County downtown both have a processing thing. You happen to get booked for a DWI on Yale over here under I-10 at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You would get processed first at the HPD, where they would process you, strip search you, put you in a deal, and then about 10 o'clock at night, because HPD doesn't have enough room, they would transfer you over to Harris County through a little bus, and you would be strip searched and processed one more time over here, and it's totally a screwed up system that they've got over there. Everyone agrees it's screwed up. It's been screwed up for 25 years or whatever. This is a county initiative that would fund a new detention center, which is basically a jail, city jail, that the city would provide 25% of the funds and the county would pick up 75% of the funds, and we'd have one new processing center. There are 9,900 people downtown in the city jail today. In a jail that only has capacity of 9,000, so they have federal oversight. I kid you not, they bus 900 of the people over to Louisiana every day and bring them back for court the next day. It's not a very efficient system over there. So I think of all the things, the most economic thing is to pass the bonds for a new detention center. The city likes it, the county likes it, the court system likes it, the legalese people like it, the indigent care people like it. There's hardly anyone that doesn't like the whole process. So I think that one's going to pass. And then you have the Astrodome. $217 million more placed in the hands of Ed Emmett and our county commissioners on whether or not we should go spend this money for a convention center for the Astrodome. I don't have an opinion. They haven't spent my last $25 million we gave them 20 years ago. It probably will pass, but it's, it's for or against another $217 million for the Astrodome. So those are the two Harris County initiatives. Then you have,
Can I ask, why is that county thing and not a city thing?
it's the county bonds that built the Astrodome. It's the county bonds that rehabilitated the Astrodome. It's the county bonds that kept the Oilers.
County owned?
County owns the Astrodome. County owns the Astrodome and land underneath it. They own all of Reliance Center. All of that section is owned by the county, even though it's in the city. Any questions about those two? Cities, so then the cities pop up, depending on what city that you're in. So remember, there's the city of Westview, there's the city of Pearland, there's the city of Brazoria, whatever city you might be in. Of course, the city of Houston, the largest race would be the mayor's race. There are a number of people running for mayor.
Eric Dick.
Eric Dick is the Republican there. The issue about the mayors will one person receive 50% of the vote and not be in a runoff or not? That'll be the issue or not. Will the mayor be in a runoff or not? If the mayor's not in a runoff, then it sends a message. If the mayor's in a runoff, it sends another message. You must remember, about 7% of the population votes in these races. So, 7% of the registered voters are determining what's going on there. So I can go to a party and I can still talk to 100 registered people, but only 7 of them are going to go vote, so I'm not sure. It's hard to get a feel for what's really going to happen. It depends on who goes and votes. It depends if it rains that day. Pardon me?
It is easy to make a difference.
It is easy to make a huge difference in these races. It's a huge, one vote makes a big difference in a precinct in these sort of races. So that would be the mayor's deal. The city controller, I probably would make a statement about. I didn't make a statement about the mayor. Did you notice I didn't make one?
Yeah,
On the
I
city
noticed.
controller, our current city controller, Ron Green, has been the worst city controller we've had in 200 years. Okay? And he's up for re-election, and he has an opponent, and the opponent's probably a better choice than the current incumbent. Okay? The Chronicle endorsed the opponent. So you might not want to vote for an incumbent for city controller if you just have absolutely no opinion. Might be time for a change there. The district races, there are Brenda Stardig and Helena Brown and her group up there and Oak Forest are all in a big race. It'll be interesting to see if any one person can get a majority. I doubt they can. I suspect that Helena and Brenda will be in some form of runoff over there. It'll be interesting to see.
Well, what's interesting about that one is Brenda Stardig was the previous council member and she lost to Helena Brown. And now she's running to try to take back her district. So that's...
I don't see a thing, but I'm not up there seeing the signs one way or the other. But it'll be a runoff between those two.
But Helena Brown's not been very popular. She's been kind of an obstructionist on
But
council.
she sure has the signs there.
Yeah, but she has these. For her supporters, they're very supportive.
Right.
They're
It's
a limited
an
group of
interesting
supporters,
race.
but they have a stronghold. So I suspect a runoff there. District B, none of us really are involved. C, Ellen Cohen, which is our race here, has no opponent. D is the one to replace Wanda, and so you have a huge, you got 10 people over here running. I don't have an opinion about it. E doesn't have an opponent. Al Wong picked up an opponent in F for the Vietnamese, Chinese area. Oliver Pennington, who is over River Oaks in that section, has an opponent. I don't think Oliver can be beat. Ed Gonzalez here on Woodland Heights, Norhill Heights, the other side has no opponent. The most contentious probably is James Rodriguez's replacement, which is downtown Hobby Airport, Glenwood. Our friend Letitia is running. She's first on the ballot. This is going to be a very highly contested race. I don't think any one of them can get 50% either. Mike Lasher didn't get an opponent. Green didn't get an opponent. Steve Costello will be running for mayor. This will be a very interesting race. He's popped hundreds of thousands of dollars against this Griffin guy who's run 15 times.
Griffin has run for the city council
He's
in
run
position
yeah.
since I was born.
At least 20 years. He has never won. Yeah, But it depends on who shows up. If the anti-incumbency group show up, it's very interesting to see how this works. I don't think Costello can be beat, but I mean, if he limps along with 52% against a no-name guy, it's going to send a message to the people who want to run for mayor. The biggest race is, these people are all positioning for 2 years from now. I mean, you will see everyone on the earth running for mayor 2 years from now. Gonzalez, Costello, you'll see all kinds of people. Pennington's talking about a run for mayor. So once you're past the member districts, you're at the at-large districts, and so there's only one of those where there's no incumbent or whatever. So Andrew Burks is running for re-election. He got 3 opponents, but probably going to be fine. So the at-large position 3 is the biggest race. This is to replace Melissa Noriega, who was term limited or whatever. So there's all these people running there. No way on earth can anyone get 50%. The Michael Kubosh, you know, will get the most attention because he has the biggest name recognition and the most amount of money. The Ray Morales, who's run before, might pick up some Republicans. Roland is a local guy, but he has his own issues with the fire department and the city. It'll be very, very interesting to see this race. Position 3 is the most interesting at-large race going on over there. Rest of them, not that big a deal. There's not any big issues going on there. So, alrighty.
So of the big issue around the Heights, which is obviously the historic district, who would we vote against? Who would we make a statement?
Who would we vote against? Well, in the position 3 race or whatever?
No, everybody, starting from the top.
Starting from the top, who would you vote against?
Are we voting against Denise Parker because she can?
There are plenty of people that are voting against Denise Parker because they're mad about historic district.
Okay.
There are plenty of people. I'm not one of those people.
I know
but there
you're
are plenty of
not,
those people.
but I'm just saying, based
Yes.
on this, she's.
To answer your question, yes.
Okay.
That
But
would
I
be,
am. I'm one of those people. that
I
are
understand.
against it.
The
I will
people
vote
that-
for anybody besides her.
People that are angry about historic district will not vote for the mayor.
So who else on the ballot is in the current position that has been negative toward the historic district?
Well, Brenda Stardick was negative to the historic district.
She was.
She was very negative.
Okay.
I mean, she would not, as a realtor, she would not even meet with us.
Where is she?
She's Oak Forest, and that's one, I think, a contributing factor of her loss
Right.
was that I totally respect if you come up and say, hi, I'm Brenda, and this is my position, and this is why I'm voting for it, and I'm not going to vote the way that you want me to. There's no issue with that. People have an opinion, but to not
Even
meet with the realtor group, with the Realtor Political Action Committee, with Ed Wolf and Dana Carmen, she wouldn't meet with any of us just to have a meeting. It sent the wrong message. If you're going to be the realtor representative on council, and their issue, they're primed, it's subdivision over 50 years of age, you know, it's the ordinance can be put in place with 10% of the people on a block could go over there and stop all development for a year while the process went through, because the ordinance it lends itself to 10% of the people dictating what happens to the other 90%, which is not the way democracy works. But so it was not. I think she should have talked to us.
Okay, so she's
Well,
a
and in
no.
private conversations, she was against the historic district. She doesn't like the way that went down, but she was the one who carried forth the amendment to screw up the way things were voted on in the Heights. Then she came over to our side and voted against East and West, and then flipped because the mayor put a bunch of pressure on her, which I don't respect. If you hold to your convictions, then she flipped and voted for Woodland Heights, Pleasant Valley, and Heights South. So I don't think she's very principled.
Okay.
Letitia
Anybody
led the
else?
fight in District I against the historic district in Glenwood Valley, so you would support that. Costello talked one way and voted another. Consistently,
Right.
every time.
Repeatedly would lie to my
I don't think
face.
that was limited to
Lie
the
to my
historic district.
face.
Do
I
I?
don't think that was limited to the.
It's not just historic districts,
It's
that's
not.
the way.
But
that-
it was all about Renew Houston, and he he wasn't gonna jeopardize his relationship
Who is
with the
that?
mayor.
Who are we talking about?
Costello.
Oh.
Steve Costello.
That David Robinson is a friend of the mayor, so you wouldn't support, the Burt guy has at least questioned the mayor to
Well,
some
and
degree, but
he actually.
Is Ed Gonzalez up for?
he doesn't have a phone.
He doesn't have a phone, neither does Ellen Cohen.
Okay, the only other, let's see, let's go to Houston Community College, and, which is further down there, the trustee District I, the Zeph Caco is our friend. Yolanda Navarro Flores, not the most trusted person on earth. So
She
I
runs for every year.
tend to tell you that Zeph would be accessible and be a good choice for a trustee from the Houston Community College if one needed to make a decision. Let's see, Anna Eastman is up, she's the district representative for District 1. That if you were here, you'd go for Anna Eastman. She lives on Harvard. She's our friend. She is the current reigning president of the HIC Board of Trustees. I think that's it with regards to the election. Don't want to get too political, but any questions about the ballot? Just want you to be aware.
The Secret Service would look into that.
Pardon me?
The Secret Service is gonna be looking into that.
I did not say Democrat or Republican or
Being too political.
or libertarian. There's a libertarian candidate for mayor there. I didn't mention any party.
Did anybody watch the debates?
Yes.
Okay.
Does anybody else?
No questions about the ballot. Understand state Proposition 6, Harris County, Astrodome, jail, Anna Eastman, Beth Capo, the rest of them. Oh, we don't care about. Okay. We're going to talk about numbers today. We're going to talk about real estate numbers and the impact real estate numbers have on us. So I want you to kind of, when you leave from here, I want you to be able to know how to do this yourself, and then you're going to know something about September sales or whatever. So HAR releases these numbers again in a way that the sales managers can come and talk on their Tuesday meetings before it hits the press later that Tuesday generally, and it's the headline on Wednesday. So they're inherently trying to give us some advantage over here. So these numbers we're going to talk about for what are September's numbers were just released. They'll release the press release probably later today. They release it Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday, something of that nature. So if you're on MLS and you just go to my page and you click over here on my HAR and it gets you up into this first page, you can go to the MLS here, and if you haven't played in this section of all of the stuff, you should probably play from time to time. You should review the NLS violations and the normal violations, things that kind of get you, check your listings. These are things related to the current MLS. There's tools listed below that, which is traffic reports and open house manager and school zone finder and geo market, all these sort of things you should probably play with from time to time. We're not very good, and we never really assign our supers for these super reports, but if one wanted to, you could assign your little super and get a little report and see who opened it and at what time and all that sort of stuff. We never really play too much with any of that. We're supposed to be out selling houses more than playing with supers. But okay, I want us to focus today, and we're going to talk about these things right here. So what is the MLS statistical analysis? And what just was released is the MLS statistical report for October. Okay? And you can get this right here. You can see, you can go ahead and get all the way back to 2002, or you can click on what is September's numbers for 2013. Let's kind of get a little deeper here. Okay. So these numbers just kicked out here. Let's see if I can get on where we can. Everyone see that?
No.
Not really.
I can see it, but
I
It
can
went
see
down.
it.
It went down.
yeah.
see if I can get it larger.
Can you PDF it and then pull it up into a PDF?
So what happens? Why?
Oh, no, come on, he already knows how to make it.
Just
bigger.
go to 125.
I'm already impressed.
Right. I'm not this far on the computer. Let me just start right over here with my paper. I'm not good with this stuff. I break my.
I'm impressed, Bill.
This has nothing to do with you though, it just has to do with the fact that it's small print.
Draw on the virtual chalkboard.
That's better.
That's 67%. Trying to make it bigger over there.
It still fits in that frame, so it's
Yeah,
just.
it's gonna miss half of it, yeah.
If you click the little save button, file,
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
save
the
it.
disk,
Yeah.
save it as a PDF and it'll.
Yeah, go on. You wanna do that? Okay, we're gonna get there. We're gonna pull up these numbers in just a second. These numbers, I think you've got to print them out and keep them with you and refer to them for the month, because I think if you represent a buyer or seller, it's telling you something. And we need to kind of know what the message we are sending to our client, but what the other agents and the other buyers and the other sellers are kind of picking up from this sort of thing. I'm going to try and get it larger here. Okay, very good. This is pretty good. All right, so this just popped out. These are September's numbers, and it's telling us that we had 6,168 sales, which is 23% more than we had last year. That's good. So the number of sales is up, the dollar volume, so how much we're selling by volume, we're selling more expensive houses than we did a year ago, and we're up by 40%. So the realtor world had a 40% increase in income because what sold was more expensive than what sold the year before. If you sell a $500,000 house, you make more money than you do if you sell a $300,000 house. Remember, you're getting a raise in our industry because what's selling is more expensive than what it used to do.
Bill, is this for the height?
No, this is all. This is the whole. We're going to break it down here today. This is all of MLS. So this is including anything that was on the multiple listing service. Could be the Woodlands, could be Kingwood, could be. This is everything. And the average price of what sold was $248,000, which was that. So every indicator, number up, dollar volume up, average price up. Townhouses were up 42%. We started talking about this last month or whatever. Townhouses, because it had been dismal before, had nowhere to go but up. So those are always going to sound better than single-family houses, because 2012 single-family housing was good, so we're already comparing to a very good year, and we're doing better. Townhouses were comparing to a shitty year, so they had nowhere to go but up. So the number of sales is up, the dollar volume is up by 50%, but we're going to see a trend here today. The townhouses that are selling are less expensive than what sold last year. The overwhelming townhouse dollar price point is declining, and we'll see this go again. So the average price was only up 6%. Duplexes are off here. This is going to be consistent throughout the day. What duplexes are selling are more expensive, and the average price of what's selling is more expensive. County homes are up 75%. Remember, recession, poor, rich people don't buy second homes in Round Top when it's not a good economy. Oil's $108 a barrel for 3 years. They then, after they've got situated in their primary home, go buy a secondary home. Country properties up 75%, dollar volume up 80%. Average price $266,000 of what's selling. High rises did not see a great increase in the number of sales, but the price, dollar volume was up, so we're selling more expensive high rises than less expensive high rises, so the average price was $401. Consider this significantly higher than the average price for a single family home. Lots were up, but we're going to see that the dollar volume of the lots that we sell were down in relationship. Rental market, of course, is all up there. Okay, so that's telling us last month compared to the September before. Okay? Now we're going to see if we compare to the year. If they take the whole year and it's running the average for the whole year, it's telling us compared to a year ago, the median price, half of which was less than this and half of which was more. Not the average, the true medium was $181, which is a better indication of what's selling than the average price. Forget averages and always try and take the median over here. So the median price, same sort of thing, was up, price per square foot was up, days on the market, all down again, okay? More sales, less inventory, 16, 17, 18 months in a row now. We've been talking about this same thing. And then we go to the number of pending sales, okay? Now, pending in September, the number of things for sale is down compared to the year before. So this is the problem. You have less inventory, you're going to have less pending, OP. At some point, we won't be able to sell more things because we have less things to sell, and we're going to start seeing it when we get to the end of the year. It's just that instead of having 60-day closes, now there's this cash, and we're closing so quickly that the days on the market are reduced, and we're actually able to have these increased sales because we're selling things quicker. If it were a normal world, and it was taking 45 days to sell, we would see a slowdown in sales. But you're not seeing the slowdown yet because of the mad frenzy and the amount of cash sales, the close in 5 days and the close in 10 days, and it's something pops in and it pops out immediately. And so this is kind of the first indication that we might have a slowdown in sales. You know, so the statistical people are picking up, if we penned less, at some point you have to sell less than you did the year before. But the new listings were up, active listings, so the number of things for sale are down 18% compared to a year ago. 20% less this year than we had last year in single family. 28% less townhouses, 21% less multifamily. Across the board, there's less things on the MLS than there would have been at this point at the end of September 2012. Okay? So then we get to the year-to-date information is on the next page. So now we're only comparing January 1 to the end of September compared to January 1, the end of September 2012. So we're really just comparing to 2012 now. And so overall, number of sales up, dollar volume up, average price up, fairly consistent story. Townhouses up, multifamily up, 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 up. Days on the market, down, 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 down. Pretty consistent story. Haven't seen any change. There's no indication that it's changed here in the last month. There's no category that's changed differently. All right. When you get to the next little page on the report, I thought was interesting, I go and I'm comparing. You can compare the last couple of years. So I take September, and I'm just looking in single family houses. They break this down, townhouses, lots, high rises, or whatever. So I go and I say, all right, let's look at 2012 summary again and tell me what happened again. In the spring and the summer, we're selling 6,000, 63, 62, 64. We had a dip to 49, then 53. So last August, we sold 64. This August, we sold 73. Last September, we sold 49. This September, we sold 61. So October, November, and December were statistically about the same as September, is what it's telling me. And that's the same thing that happened in 2011. When I go and compare what happened in October, November, and December of 11, 12 was statistically about the same, and 13 is telling me it's about the same. So my guess is that for October, November, and December, we're going to be up about 25%. Inventory is going to be down about 20%. Median price and average price is all going to be up. I have no indication that it's going to be different. And you got to remember, when we were comparing to 10, there was the first time home buyer tax credit. Remember in 08 we had a hurricane. In 9 we had a free fall. I mean, 8, 9, and 10 aren't statistical analysis because they were all the volcano eruption, and we can't compare to the eruption. You've got to compare to normal years of what's going on. But I mean, fairly consistently, you can see the median price is popping up here. You can see the price per square foot is popping up here. You can see the days on the market is consistently declining. You've got a pretty good trend over 3 years going on for each of those numbers. Brandon, just plenty of room. Come on in. Come on in. The same thing applies for the townhouses. This was single family houses. And the next page was townhouses. What I thought was a little interesting in the townhouses, we've been averaging over here 116, 116, 117, 119, 121. What's happening? Prices dropped here in the townhouse mark. Here's the average, the median price, 191, 190, 194, 192, 200. We've dropped down to 181. Here's the average, we've dropped. So this is the townhouse market that days on the market inched up a little bit. The price per square foot went down. What was selling, it's telling me that it's softening just a little in that townhouse market already. It's the first one to go. Now, I'm not saying that we can make any great analysis out of this, because the townhouse market is going to be strong for the next couple of years, because it's going to be the only thing people can afford. So it's just, there may be a bargain in the townhouse market compared to the single family housing market this fall, while you're seeing the results of the inventory finally kicking in. There were no townhouses in 2009. There were none in 10. We started building in 11. We finally had a few in 12. Well, now we're seeing the 10 units pop up, on Center Street, and the 15 units pop up on Inker, and it's showing us that there's some softening.
Could that also be because out, especially in the Southwest, there's all these really cheesy condos that are now being bought by investors, and they couldn't get, and also by people who couldn't get financing before?
It could be. What, you go back to the next sheet, and we'll pop over to the townhouse version of it, and I'll come back to the single family in a second. So I got through the leases. All this is on there, the rentals of the multi-family.
$150 a square foot.
Okay,
That's
so
that's what it is. I think it's.
then I go and say, okay, this is telling me what's happening in the townhouse market all across the board by price. Okay? And so this is telling me that we sold no townhouses at 1,900,000, 800. We sold 2 over here. So here's the percentage of what we're making up over here, and this is comparing to the year before. So we're up in the $500,000 to $600,000 market. We're up 88% of those sales. Okay?
Yeah.
We're up 84% of the sales here. So here's the strength of the market right here, telling me that we're up 65, 72, 88, 84. We're softening in these other areas. So there weren't as many sales at 190 to 199 or 200 to 249. They were actually reductions.
Is that because there's not very many of them out there to sell?
Well,
Kind of what you were saying
well-
about things are slowing down and, there's no more, you can't pin anything that's not there?
Can't be anything that's on
Except
there.
in the 200, I think it was.
Well, the low end and the high end are
249 was
non-existent.
43.
See, all those low-end things that we're talking about, all these things are all 33, 25. These are the down market, anything, those cheap things that used to sell a bunch in 8, 9, and 10 because they could only get cash and they were, $80,000 or $60,000 or whatever. That market is statistically off because there's fewer of them today. They all got bought out in 9, 10, and 11 or whatever. And this other section of the market has replaced this section.
And the bottom section is probably new construction and no one's gonna build a $80,000 townhome.
Can't buy it. You can't. The
Why would
land
you
got
do
too
that?
expensive in
Right.
10 and 11
So
and the
you're-
market's too strong.
Could it also be tied possibly to the generation that is buying them, to like baby boomers who are selling their houses and buying into townhouses?
Could be. Could be.
I mean, I think that the statistics are great to look at, but I'd like to know why.
I'd be shocked if it was the downgraders, and the reason why is because the
stairs.
Well, people
You
bought them
know?
for income producing properties
Right.
also, and they're holding on to them because they're making good income.
Right, right, that's.
Here we're back in single family sales. This was the 6,168 thing that sold last month or whatever, and here's the percentage of what they made up, and here's how they're doing. So if we go and say the low end is off, and where's the strength in the marketplace? Marketplace was all really up in the 40s or 50s of anything that we're likely to sell, from about 250 on. The average increase over last year was really 45 to 48%. So you can say the world was up 23%, but what we're selling is really up 45%, right? Compared to even 1 year ago, it's up 45%.
Do you think you're going to start seeing more people trying to unload these who've been renting
Well,
them out? Because I have two
Absolutely.
already.
I mean, Shelby, her
Ready.
client wants to unload 5
Yeah.
things we picked up in 8, 9, 10, and 11. He can make about a 70% return on his money. So these statistics tell you by group, by price point, what's selling. But there again, that's the whole greater MLS going on, and it's still hard for me to arrive at anything other than to say, probably still in the woodlands, it makes a big difference. But if you pop to the next deal, rental, I didn't point out rental, but rentals were up 50, 33 was the cheapest, and averaged about 50% on increase. What this is showing us, all right, now here's area 9, single family houses. So here's now just the Heights area.
In Oak Forest.
And of course, yeah, the greater area, Glendale, all this section here. So last year we sold 188 things. This year we sold 252. Last year, what sold cost $296,000. Now it costs $357,000. Here is this is the average price. This is the median price. This is the price per square foot. We jumped from 157 to 190. Got 98% of list price to sold price. This is what percentage was co-op. All right, so we're in 9. Last year we got this many new listings in September. We only got this many new listings this September. So we're not even keeping up with last year's pace or whatever. We pended more this year than we did last year. So we brought in less and we pended more, which creates a smaller days on the market from 55 days down to 40. So the days on the market's 2.8. Statistically, 6 months is a balanced market. Okay? Anything less than 6 months, the statistics say that it's a seller's market versus a buyer's market.
That's months on market?
This is days on the market here, and this is months, yeah. Months of inventory. So we have a worse problem today than we had yesterday. No better, if you represent the buyer side. Here's area 16, Montrose. Okay, so this is right south of I-10, going all the way to 59. Okay, the greater area. Sold 89 last year, so we sold less houses. But what houses we sold went from 555 to 739. The average price went to 500. The price per square foot jumped up 20-something%. Still got 98% of list price. Still pended, we brought in less inventory, and the days on the market's a month less than it was a year ago. Tightening up still in the Montrose market. This is single family houses. Okay, so we're to single family houses. We look at the next one, area 17. Here's West U. Last year sold 63 houses. Average price was $600,000. 85 houses this time, average $761, $150,000 higher than 1 year ago. Median price went up, price per square foot was up 20%, number of listings was down, pending sales was up, days on the market, 31 days, inventory 2.5. You want to build houses in West Jeep? There's no houses, right? I mean, if you're the builder, you're the banker, that's what you want to go look at over there. What's not to like about those numbers if you're in the selling side? The buying side is shit, but if you're on the buying side, if you're on the selling side, don't have enough houses, prices going up significantly over the year before. That's the single family market. Then you can go to next to the townhouse.
I'd love to
And
see
there's-
those numbers broken out, Bill, into older homes and newer homes.
Okay, no, but we're gonna get there in just a second. This is townhouses though, as we were talking. Barely sold more than we sold the year before. Last year, the average price of what we sold in a townhouse was $220,000. For September of 2013, it was $207,000. The median price went down. Price per square foot was roughly the same. Inventory and pendings, the inventory was down, pending was the same, the inventory is down. It seems like what's selling in the month of September was less expensive in Area 9. Seems like it, right? I mean, statistically, that's what it's telling me there. Montrose townhouses. Look, we sold almost double. Sold 69 the year before, 111. Price is only $353, not significantly different. Median price, not significantly. The price per square foot did inch up to $20 a foot. That's pretty good over a year or whatever. Number of listings from 273 down to 202. Number of pendings, days on the market, inventory, tight. Left, 2 months. Very tight there. And then Montrose is the next, Westview next. It saw a little increase. The Bissonnettes of the world.
Yes.
We're selling off the 155 version, and we rose up to 210 or whatever. But the median price still was 126. How much was your Bissonnette?
To 374.
Okay, so you're higher than mine. Medium sales price per square foot 141. Number of listings down. Pending sales up. Days on the market down. Inventory down. No way to build townhouses in this anymore, so none of these are going to be new. These are all going to be resale of 70s, 80s, and 90s things. There's no net new land in that. Okay.
Just out of
Just
curiosity,
not-
is the suburb seeing the same
So,
trend?
pick me an area. Pick anyone.
Area 4.
Area 4, perfect. Okay. What is Area 4?
That's gonna be
That's
east to
That's
downtown,
Eno
Riverside Terrace.
in the 3rd ward, and it's
East
hot.
What's happening?
Hotter than firecrackers, so let's see if that's
I
true.
don't think it's very hot.
It is hot. Edo is very
Yeah,
hot.
it is.
Edo is so hot.
Yeah.
Third ward's kind of hot too.
Okay. Area 4 single family houses.
Oh,
The number of sales was 10%, so got 3 more sales from 33 to 36.
This is single family?
This is single family again. Here's the median price, the average price, the median price. Price per square foot was going up. You got 96% of the list price versus 93. Definitely definitely increasing there. Number of houses for sale, 242 down to 185. Number of pendings up. Days on the market from 133, 6 months it took last time, to now less than 2 months here. So this inventory, a 3-month shrinkage, 1 year over 1 year. So definitely this is the beginning signs.
But now
those
go to
areas.
townhouses, because that's what they're building,
Yeah, that's
right?
what
That's
selling
what,
out
that's
there,
what,
yeah.
I mean, I'm dealing with some investors who want to
Jim
invest
had a
in
lot
that
of
area,
experience
but
over there in
also.
the townhouse market area.
Yes.
There's no, it's buy it or take it or leave it.
Oh,
Take it or leave
I
it.
know what you
Yeah,
mean.
so here you go.
I have one under control.
The number of sales was off, but statistically, there's not enough for us to say. So here's the sales. They went from 214 to 266. Here's the median price going from 219 to 272. Price per square foot. They're getting 99% of the list price here. Not co-oping much. This is how many they co-op with, so they're selling more themselves than they do in most places. Active listings down. Pending sales was the same. Days on market, 125 down to 38 days. 1.4 month inventory.
From 6 to 1.
Nothing over there.
Yes,
That's a huge shrinkage of inventory within 1
Yeah.
year. And 2012 was a good year. Remember, it was a good year. We're not talking about a dismal year. We're talking about what was the best year in 4.5 years was 2012.
So there, are they building, just from my knowledge, are they building the 3 stories
They
or
are.
are they building?
Cramping in as many as they can. Get them in
I
as
thought
cheap
maybe
as
they
they
were
can.
redoing
As much
warehouses.
square
on them.
footage on that land as you can,
Okay.
so you can.
The condo market's just caught up. Townhouse got better in 2012. to lend in 2013. High-rise is better in 2013, but what in 2012? They might lend on one of these loft conversions by next year or something, but it's still hard, or if you're this Borgliani or whatever owns Grand Duca and those things, he can create his own price point. I mean, it's hard to do high-rise construction at the moment. Okay. These statistics are all out there. Lands are out there, high-rises, townhouses, they're broken out by area, by price point. You know, so if you've got a particular person and you want to know something what's going on, they're out there. I'm pretty good about going over them and leaving them out there, but you probably need to know how to find those sort of things. Here's another good one that we don't really talk about too often, but that we probably should. And it's this graphic analysis here. This is, you could probably print this out. We could print it in color if you needed it. This one's not that particularly long because it's a graphic, and a lot of people get tied up and they don't like all those numbers. So I'm not sure how large we can get this. Doesn't appear to be very large. Doesn't appear to be readable. Let's see what we can do on this one. This is giving us an analysis, and it's starting probably with the single family houses. Okay, excellent. Look at you. This is just the now we're going to break things out. So this is just not counting new construction. This is single family houses, just resale. This is the inventory of the resale housing market over the last year, showing us that we continue to have a shrinkage in that. Then you go, so if the inventory is down, the resale market sales are still up. Number of sales are up 21% in the resale market. Okay? Number of listings down. Sales up, listings down. Listings down of resale houses are down 27% compared to last year. Median price up 11.4.
What happened in February?
I don't know what happened. So now we're going to look, now that breaks out, now we're in new construction. New construction, remember we can catch up a little quicker in new construction. So you're starting to see what is the beginning of this increase of inventory. Remember, we're still siphoning them off as quickly as we can, but at least it's not declining. It's starting to increase. And this is where we'll see the largest amount of increase. It'll be interesting to see how this number works for 2014. So inventory is trying to catch up in the single family market. The new home sales, we don't have enough data out there. Remember, it's negligible compared to the resale market, but at least it's up. I mean, we're selling more houses. They're selling them as fast as they can build the damn things. But it can't be much higher than that because there's no inventory to make it any higher than that. The listings, see, even the new home listings, because, I mean, mine, remember, I've got 10. I won't put them on the MLS. I won't put Meshaw. I won't put Cole, I won't put Oberlin. I won't put Rice. I won't put Shannon. I don't want to. And so it's why the active listings are down, because you don't want to sell for $260 a foot if next month the average price is going to be $295 a foot. You might as well just wait till it's finished. There's no incentive to sell the new house early unless the banker or the investor are just demanding it or whatever. So the number of listings is really no greater today than it was a year ago. But it will. I mean, it's going to catch up. Price up 11%. The number of annualized sales, oh wait, let me switch to the news section here. So then we get to the townhouse market. Townhouse market, inventory down, sales are up, active listings are down 32% in the townhouse market. And remember, we had a lot of townhouses, 10, 11, 12. So we've got to catch up. If the townhouse market's going to do fine, because I tell you, they're selling plenty of townhouses that are not on the MLS also. And the builder can sell them themselves. They put 1 on the MLS and keep 5 off the MLS. That David Weekly, I mean, that's a prime example. They don't even want to give you a price. They don't even print the price at Trendmaker anymore. It depends on, it's the price of the day. It's like the catch of the day over here on the restaurant. We don't know what the price is until you get there. I'm telling you, it's a hell of a lot more expensive on Saturday than if you shop on Tuesday. Okay? My guys, Daniel Ramirez, we sold curtain or whatever. We go shopping, they tell us it's $4.99 for a trend marker house. We do not buy Saturday or Sunday. By Monday they say they'll negotiate, and Tuesday we buy for $4.59. But if we had bought on Saturday in the sales center with a bunch of people over there in the frenzy, my people would have paid $40,000 more than waiting 4 days. But it's the mindset of frenzied activity in this new home sales model out there in the Cinco Range. So, if they will negotiate, you got to catch them at the right time. Here, that's just showing the flip-flop. So, this graphic, I think, is interesting to show, you know, just in a graph format of one of those things. Then you can, I mean, there's all these other good reports. There's just a statistical report on monthly versus new, if you were interested in that. There's the foreclosure. But, I mean, this is really showing you what's going on in the world. So here's last month. Remember, they're always in my mind. They're going to get ready to come out with this September report. I've shown you these. I mean, I've given you the September numbers. The September press release was based on August's numbers. So around this came out September 17th, I think. That they're just fixing to come out with the one for October. So. Oh, it was here. It was not here. Not here at 10 o'clock this morning. So here it is. Here, they popped it out. It was not here at 9:45.
Hi, I'm HR Chairman Danny Frank with your Houston Housing Minute. September took the Houston real estate market through its 28th straight month of positive home sales. Single-family homes saw a 23.5% surge in sales compared to 2012. The rapid pace of home buying drove month supply of inventory down to 3.2 months compared to 4.7 months a year ago. The median price of single-family homes rose about 10% to $182,000. The average price increased around 13% year over year to $249,000, both all-time highs for September. Total dollar volume soared 40% to $1.75 billion versus $1.25 billion a year earlier. Single-family rentals rose 16% while townhome and condo rentals were unchanged. Average rents for townhome and condos reached a record high, while the single-family average went down slightly from its recent all-time high. Houston continues to benefit from the confluence of very positive economic forces: strong job growth, record low interest rates, and reasonable home prices compared to other parts of the country. I'll be back next month with the October report.
Thank you, Danny.
Congratulations.
So, I print out this little report and I set it right beside my desk. And I refer back to these little sections almost every day throughout the month. If I'm visiting with the investor of the houses in Westview and they want to talk about how the market is, I pop out and I show them Westview. If I have a guy trying to buy a lot, or a guy trying to buy a townhouse, or someone trying to buy a house in the $400,000 range in Area 9. Now, of course, you could statistically go and I could pull up Area 9 sales and draw the little map of Harvard and Cortland, and it would be very specific. And I think that's important to do also. But this is sending the message to the rest of the world also. It's sending it to the guy relocating from Calcutta, you know, or wherever they're coming from. This is where they're getting the headline for the Chronicle and for Culture Map, and it's coming from this mindset. And so you have to know at least what this mindset is so that you have this information. So, I mean, I would try and get in some habit of at least sending out some summary to the buyers or sellers that we have. Now, if you have a seller and they say it's up 25% and your house hasn't sold in 3 months, you're going to say, well, should we raise the price of our house over here? So you got to temper it into reality of where you're going. But I think the statistical information in a normal year is good information to have. You need to know how to find it. You need to know what it means. If you don't, probably need to ask me and we'll regroup again in more individualized setting or whatever. But it's all up there, you know, for anyone to find on the MLS or whatever. And they make it relatively easy by just going to these little reports and seeing it. Any questions about the statistics? We hadn't gone over this one thoroughly on the computer in a while, so I wanted to know how to find it or whatever and what it means. Okay. That's really all I had. Yes, Mia?
Heights pages, still 4 spots left. Need to know this week if anybody wants those, one of those last 4 spots.
Okay.
And what's happening to the property at 22 something Yale? That woman came like a year or 2 ago and spoke and was selling it, brought us a brochure, and now it's all fenced around like, I mean, nothing's happening there.
Which one?
2200 something Yale.
The
that-
apartments are at 22 in Yale.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the bank. It's a mixed-use development, like there's supposed to be some retail.
It's the bank, right?
Next door to
The bank.
Asian Cafe where they're building something?
It's been
That's
there
a bank.
for a while.
It's part of the mortgage
No,
company
it's
of the
not.
bank.
Yeah, Texas Lone Star is
no.
moving to the corner of 22nd and Yale.
It's a piece of property that's been there, and they were building condos in a 2200 Yale, 2211 Yale, something like that. Woman came here and spoke to us. She
Are
was
you-
selling them.
I think you're talking about the ones on Studewood.
No, they're on Yale.
She was here and
Yeah, I
she was
remember
here.
No, they're on Studewood.
The 1111 Studewood
Yeah, that was the
over
woman who
here,
talked.
they came.
I'm gonna go take a picture of
Yeah.
the building.
All
and
right,
send it
you
to
asked
you.
me.
Is it
22
10?
something Yale.
I don't think so. The 2200 block's
Are you talking about the
covered.
10, like right there at the?
I mean, 2127 Yale, which is the corner, is the apartment complex. It was Kaplan's.
2125.
That's now the
Yeah,
apartment complex.
okay, yeah.
Well, that's
That's
close
one
to
corner.
22. Yeah, and
And then the
there's
Asian
a
Cafe is on the other
side.
side.
Yeah,
The Heights
there's
Asian Cafe is next.
I
Right,
know where
and
it
then
is.
there's a blank lot that they haven't done anything with, and then they're
It's
building
like
the
a
mortgage
4 or
company,
5
right?
story place,
And a break.
building.
Yeah.
And
so
they
that
were
would
trying
make
to
more
put a
space.
restaurant in there and nothing's.
You're at
moving.
1111 Studewood.
I am
Oh.
not.
You are at
I am
1111
not.
Studewood. You're right
I
on
had to
Studewood.
make sure on my Studewood area. I'm on Yale.
Yes, yeah.
Are
Not
they already
that
built?
we're in this business, but the apartment complex where Capan's dinner is.
Captain's been heard?
Yeah,
Yes.
that
21
sold yesterday for $37.5 million.
Hello, would that be the one I'm talking about?
That's not on you.
21,
Yes, it is.
25.
It's on Yale, but
That's
It is
on
on
Yale.
Yale.
It's
That-
21, 25.
It's
Yale.
25, yes.
Sold yesterday?
21,
How
25
much is that a
Yale
unit?
is 2200.
sure.
Yeah.
But I
Because
mean,
it's a
they're
whole
rentals.
lot.
Okay.
But it's-
What else
but
we
it's
got?
a, you know,
It's a what?
just a number.
It's just a number. It's all. Okay, that's all I have. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'll be around all most of the day.
I thought we were having
Yeah, we're